He gets to the final day and just keeps throwing more and more at it, and the wheelies start getting bigger, and he finally ran 543 on the last day. And so he and I are talking, and I'm like, dude, this thing probably still has a good amount left in it. And it's, by the way, not a Coyote, not an LS swap. It's a 438 cubic inch small block pushrod Ford with twin turbos on it.
Come on, dude.
Yep.
Welcome to the Drag Driver Pete News presented by Summit Racing. So I'm going to let you introduce our guest today while I pull up what I'm trying to look for here from Car Change 3D. Mr. Derek Putnam, we got you on screen here, buddy. Tell us what's going on.
Hey, everybody. I'm Derek Putnam. If you've never heard me on live stream or at an event doing Sick the Magazine stuff, I edit and put up stories every day on the sickthemagazine.com website. And every now and then when Michael Narx is really low on the guest list, he'll ask me.
Dude, I love it when you're on here. Hang on. Let me show these folks what Corey has been working on, because it's going to interest UK Tom. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but it is a complete, how about this? How about a Fox Body Center console with cup holders and a storage tray for your phone with a plug-in?
The cup holders would be insane.
That's
good, because I currently have nothing in my car. So
yeah, this would be perfect.
Yeah. I have the little cup holders that clip to the roll cage, and you can get a can in, but you can't get like a big gold cup or anything in it. You can just get a can or something, and that's it.
Yeah, this would be perfect for that. So Car Change 3D, this is the first production Fox console out in the wild. So this is a big deal. So we need to get with Corey and get something set up for Tom.
I need to go down the catalog and just go tick, 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 tick.
Yes, you do. Exactly. Yeah. Rovik's saying Derek's the man. That is for sure, dude.
We missed having Rovik on Michigan Miles. It's weird to do a one-off without him, but as you and I talked about, there are so many drag and drives or drag and drive based events that are going on right now. And obviously the Hot Rod by Havlic's Fastest Streetcar reunion deal is an amazing event, so I can completely understand with him going there, and a lot of great cars, a lot of great action. It's been great seeing all the photos that Eric has gotten from that, so look forward to seeing him at Six Smokies in October.
Dude, I can't wait. You're gonna get to meet my wife, man.
I don't know if that's gonna be such a good thing for me. I mean, right now it's kind of like Dave Freiberger saying, good looking from afar but far from good looking. So right now I'm okay, but when she meets me up close, then the mask comes off and it looks worse.
Oh yeah, hey, that'd be great, man. I want to say thanks to all the folks that are in the UK that are in here making comments. Appreciate you guys being here this morning.
Yeah, so it is amazing when you consider the amount of stuff that is going on this year. And by the way, take a little bit of heat off yourself. The Hard Ass 1000, I actually had that on our drag and drive calendar with a to-be determined date, because when I went through at the beginning of the year and revamped everything, they actually did not have a date on there. Originally, it was a little bit earlier than what they scheduled it for, as you mentioned earlier today, but they had not picked a date yet. And I wonder if there's obviously some things going on in the background there.
Yeah, the track changed hands, and from there it made it tough. You know what I mean? They're trying to figure all that stuff out. Did you see Danny's comment here? He said, my favorite line from Derek at Sick Week 24 about the Gucci. Don't worry, folks. He's not broke. He's just that slow.
You know, I grew up with two 17-second classic Chevys, so I understand what it's like when not everybody has a fast car. I mean, that's the kind of stuff we pay attention to. But you and I have talked about this. I feel like almost everybody that is on an event has a story of how they got there or what they're doing or whatever. So the expression that I like to use, or that I have used this year, is don't worry, they're not slow. They're just enjoying more track time than anybody else.
That's exactly
so true. It's so true.
So
that's awesome. All right, well, guys, we're talking about Sick Michigan Miles here this morning. Tom, typically Eric and I kind of alternate through the winner list. So if we can do that, and then Derek give us the color commentary for the winners, I think that's probably the best way to do this. Maybe.
Sure.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll kick us off with, and we don't have pictures for every winner, but we have stuff for, because mainly we wanted Derek's pretty face on the screen here really big. So your overall winner and the quickest Chevrolet, Mr. Aiden Bailey in the shitbox of doom here. The 2.0, I guess. I can't remember what they call this thing, but
the deuce box, baby. Come on.
I love this thing. I love it.
He hasn't competed with this car in a while, so that I forgive you for forgetting, because I actually had to go back and refresher course it when I found out he was bringing it. So the interesting thing about this, I mean, obviously the photo, let's talk about that real quick. So this is over the Mackinac Bridge, which basically connects the lower and upper peninsula in Michigan. And it is the 7th longest suspension bridge in the world. It's 5 miles long. The really cool thing that I like about this, I mean, in addition to the fact that it is a cool shot, and we managed to get not only this, but plenty of other people. So you'll see that in the pages of Sick the Magazine coming out. But you notice there's a paved side and then there's a grate side. If you're on the grate side, you'll hear tone changes. They actually put different grates in it so you can hear the tones and inflection change when you're going across the grate.
Interesting. I can't remember if Aiden put it up or if Tom did, but
Tom put it up.
The video
straight down, 200 feet down in the water.
Yeah,
thanks.
There's it's like of the trans tunnel, but there's no side on it, and you're literally driving, looking at the man. It freaked me out. I was like, nope, can't do that.
Yeah,
no.
Tom really got into the co-pilot role really well. I mean, when you consider the fact that Aiden has co-piloted for him a couple of times and really has not done a lot of drag and drives with this car. So real quick refresher. So the original car, because I had to look this up, the original car, the S box of doom, or whatever if you want to actually use the 4-letter word, that was originally built and competed by Richie Crampton and Johnny Lindbergh on Hot Rod Drag Week. And then Aiden bought it, swapped engines, put a twin turbo LS in it, and competed with it on Sick Week in 2022. And on the last day, last pass, got water under the tires and put it on its lid. So they thought about rebuilding it and fixing it, and then it just had too much damage. They managed to find another 57 Chevy body, which is crazy in the fact that you find one already, and that it's the same color and almost the same patina too. It's like the same tealish color.
Yep.
So they basically swapped everything over, where Aiden Bailey and Joe Barry's son Joey were like thrashing on this thing for Summer 2023, the first year. There's photos of Aiden under the car asleep because they had been up for like 72 straight hours. They roll it through tech. The car doesn't run, but everything they needed to check worked. Then they take it over to Motion Raceworks, mad thrash to finish it, make one pass on day one, and slowly kind of chop through it. So since then, I think it's only done 1 or 2 events. The last event that it was on was Drop the Hammer last year in Michigan, where it averaged 522, and Aiden this week one and done every single racetrack. He went between 524 and 526. They didn't really turn it up. They didn't really have any major issues with it, except a little bit of cooling issue where they had a relay go out and then they had to put some gear oil in it. It's funny. If you want to find out about the gear oil story, you can watch some of our video coverage that we put together day by day. But to watch Aiden actually have a chance to compete for a helmet as low-key and non-stressful level as he normally is, it's almost weird. Like, you're wondering if there's something going on under the surface, like the duck on the water and the things are flapping around a whole bunch, what have you. So, but it was really cool to see him win.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if he ever gets excited or not, but I would be, man. I mean, that he won a one-off event. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, let's be honest, that the drives would be super, super cool. Okay. Let's 524 his average on that.
Yes.
Had number 2 covered by quite a bit. So Tom, tell us who ended up number 2. Kart Chains 3D should be your first choice for custom 3D printed parts. Let me say that right the first time. For your project car, Corey can take your idea to reality. Maybe you're looking for that special car guy gift they can't get anywhere else. Corey can produce a one-off keychain for that special person's special car. Find more at carchains3d.com. or on social by searching Car Chains 3D. And I wish that I had put it up. So I
ended up number 2 was Evan Ukwitz. I butchered that name terribly. I'm sorry. With a 79 Malibu with overall average of 543.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I butchered his name a bunch too until he corrected me. It's Urquitz. And in this photo, him and Frank Webb with that beautiful Fairmont Futura behind him, they both rolled in the wee hours of the morning on day 0, and neither car had any time on them. Urquitz made the quickest run on the books, 5:11 on day number 1, but after that he ran into issues and he swapped this car to radials after running it on slicks for several years. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like he rolled in with no test time. I have to wonder if the next event we see him at, which could be drag week, I'm thinking, depending on what he finds, he could be all ironed out by then. I mean, this thing's been 780s before, so we honestly thought that he was going to give Aiden a pretty hard fought battle all the way through, but some of these racetracks are not real radial happy, so that was what ended up biting him, that and lack of time.
Yeah, and he lives, I just looked it up, he lives in Wisconsin, so
yeah,
seeing him at Sick Week, that's a big trip.
Mm-hmm.
Third place overall. I think I've got a photo here. Love it when trucks are fast, dude. I love it. Thomas Keeper, 94 F-150, 564, third place overall.
So actually, he finished 6th place overall because some of the people that we had in front of him, you and I have covered several times. That includes John Moore, TJ Linebaugh, and Kevin Parton's beautiful 67 Nova. But yeah, I mean, how can you not just be absolutely mesmerized by a 94 F-150 literally toting the front wheels? And this is still going up. So the photo that I sent you is from a test session afterwards. So the interesting story behind this one is he's done every 6 summer with us with this. This is a former farm truck. He bought it with his dad, completely restored it. It's the original 2-tone color, and it only had a roll bar in it until this year. So he was limited to 10 flat. So his local track is Great Lakes Dragway. It's been 890s in the off season, and he decided he was going to go through it from stem to stern, rewired it, did a whole bunch of stuff to it, and unfortunately missed 6 summer by a couple weeks. But he was already entered for Michigan Miles because he said he really wanted to do it. He slowly starts creeping up on the tune-up. Every day except for one, he resets his personal best. He goes 564, then 561. He gets to the final day and just keeps throwing more and more at it, and the wheelies start getting bigger, and he finally ran 543 on the last day. And so he and I are talking, and I'm like, dude, this thing probably still has a good amount left in it. And it's, by the way, not a Coyote, not an LS swap. It's a 438 cubic inch small block pushrod Ford with twin turbos on it.
Come on, dude.
Yep. This photo is from Great Lakes Dragway 2 days ago. I just wrote a story about this. He went out there, went testing, reset his personal best on the quarter 3 times, and ended up with an 838 at 159 for a 2-ton pickup truck.
So he just went, he needs to go ahead and go straight to a 750 cage now, pull it back apart.
He literally just put an 850 cage in it in the off season. So now the only bad part, I'm putting this out there so people aren't surprised by we don't see him. He is actually going to be a Black Hawk mechanic in training in the National Guard for the next 9 months, starting next month. Wow. So even though he qualifies for one of our top 5 spots to go to Sick Week, he's not going to be able to take advantage of it. So it was really cool, though. Him and his dad, Jack, did the entire week together. His dad looked like he was having just as much fun as Tom was. They caravanned with Evan Erkowitz and Frank Webb the entire week.
Oh, cool.
He said he might be back in time to do 6 summer next year, which is obviously his closest drag and drive that he can do. And he said he'd like to do that or whatever Tom's one-off is, depending on where it lands. But yeah, he's probably trying to get in every last lap he can, considering the truck had been down for most of the year. Again, just absolutely insane to see how fast this thing is running.
Yeah, I love fast trucks, man. All right, who's the quickest Mopar?
Quickest Mopar? Christopher Vanderwalker. 2021 Hellcat. 684.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at what we did with subcategories where we made people pick what category they thought they were going to do the best in. So you might have some Mopars, for example, that would be quicker than what Christopher Vanderwalker's beautiful blue Charger ran, but he picked that category. So there was a quicker Mopar, and just so happened that you guys put that one up next, which is Morgan Evans and Jason Castner in their 87 D150. So the interesting thing about this truck, we'll take a little stroll down memory lane here. Morgan they live in Orlando. They've been into cars for a long time. Morgan got it from her dad. She met Jason. They both were into Subarus when they first met each other, and they've gotten that out of their system, thankfully. And she says that, not me. She had never made a racetrack pass in her life until last year when she went to Roadkill Nights to participate in Grudge Race. So can you imagine never making a pass, and then let's do it on live TV in front of thousands of people on a no-prepped surface with a Hurricane swapped 6-cylinder truck with very little time on it.
Yeah, and then go on to win it.
Right. Yeah. So she wins against all odds. Then she does 666 last year and wins quickest 6 6-cylinder. I think she averaged in the 660 range. They updated the roll bar in it a little bit in the off season, and Jason drove it at Sick Week this year and ran a quickest of 1019, which for a 6-cylinder and a pickup truck is pretty quick. And then Morgan got back behind the wheel, backs up her Roadkill Nights win from last year, this year, where they were allowed to modify the Her Crate motor. So she went from the twins to a single precision 76 millimeter turbo. And according to the Draggy, went 612. Now, obviously, the truck has no roll cage, so she couldn't do that on Michigan miles. So she averaged 650. On the last day, she turns it up and decides, let's see what it does out the back. 601 at 114 miles an hour.
Come on, dude. That's awesome.
So I told her, you need to put a cage in it. And after she ran the 601, she messaged me while I was in the tower, and she's like, yeah, I think you're right. We need to do something.
Yeah, I mean, because like a 850 cage will take her to 535, right?
Yeah, and a 601 with that speed is probably, realistically, I would say in the right air, 940 to 960.
That's awesome, man.
And they've still got room.
Yeah, dude, Tom, the UK folks are coming out.
I know.
Bro,
it's so good.
It, man. Yeah, that's awesome. I also want to give a shout out to Joel Kerr. One of the greatest stories of Sick Week. They buy this Corvette, thrash on it all week. Him and Lon Tibbs out there having an absolute blast. And so Morgan, I can't remember if you said it or not. She did take the quickest 6-cylinder at Michigan miles as well.
At Michigan miles, yep, 650 for the average, and that is the truck's third straight quickest 6-cylinder. And again, they are fully immersed in the whole drag racing and drag and drive thing now. After going from no racing at all just over a year ago, they've now done 3 drag and drives in a year's time. So I think they're committed. I mean, that's just my thought.
Dude, that's what I'm telling. Like, once people find this, they are hooked. They can't get, and that's why we have to keep dragging these new folks in, these new events, these one-off events like what SICK does, the regional stuff. Every event helps bring in new people, and those new people end up doing more than one event. Let's run through a few quick names, and then we'll get back into telling some stories. So why don't you run us through like the next 3 or 4 there?
Yeah, so you have the quickest Pontiac, Tim Darnell in the 91 Trans Am, went 627 as an average. You have your quickest Buick, Jay Sweetland in the 1970 Skylark, in 794 with a 7. And your quickest Oldsmobile, Eric Holbeck in 71 Cutlass, 793 with a 7.
I figured this one's a good one. So the quickest stick shift, Brian Reed, 94 Mustang, 621. Derek, you got some good stories about stick shift class?
Yeah, this is interesting. So Brian Reed, his wife is Joanna Icobelli Reed, and she did Sick Week with us back in 2023. So the interesting thing is the engine and blower combination, the Coyote with a Whipple on top of it, that was in her car for Sick Week 2023 was in his car for this event. So they kind of switch things up. So this is a 94 Mustang, Coyote swap, 6-speed manual. It's got an entire S550 interior in it that he did. I mean, it's got a whole bunch of stuff changed. So this is his first ever drag and drive from the competitor seat. So I think he was a little bit nervous at first, but looked really good. Ran a trio of 6.0s, and then on one race he just it's not gonna run exactly what I wanted to. So he went into parts preservation mode and ended up being the quickest stick shift car. And honestly, they had a blast. They did a whole bunch of stuff off the grid that was not on our original checklist, but it was nice to see them out having a good time. And Joanna switching roles with him. So now, of course, we've got to get both cars on the same drag and drive. They've both done it individually. The first time he rode shotgun in her car. This time, Joanna rode in a separate truck, and just it allowed them to have something to kind of, film from and what have you. Whereas Brian and his buddy ended up riding in the Mustang separately.
That's awesome. And then up next, quickest naturally aspirated 98 Camaro, Luke Van Allen, 653. The dude also just came off winning Heads Up Hustle in a small block. Like, this dude ain't playing.
Wow. So the interesting thing is that he was one of like 3 naturally aspirated LS 4th gen Camaros that was on the tour, and it was wheels up every single pass, very consistent, and he only held off the guy that finished second behind him by, I want to say, like 5 or 6 hundredths. It was pretty close.
Wow, man, that's awesome. All right, Tom, run us through a few more.
Right, so you have the quickest nitrous powered car, Justin D-Rod in a 67 Chevelle, 643 with an 8.
Mhm.
You have your quickest gasser, Carl Zink, 55 Bel Air, 792. Your quickest Beetle, that's kind of a cool class. I like that class. Clinton, I am going to butcher this name, Michael.
Yeah, we need Derek to say this last name.
Yeah,
How do you
Connor.
say?
How do you say Clinton?
Now, of course, you guys would say that when I butchered it all week, and then they corrected
Yeah,
me.
you've had the practice now.
I believe it's Shine Digger, if I remember
Okay.
correctly, because you could go E or I. And he did a huge wheel stand in the Beetle on the last day too, and
Yeah.
the fact that it didn't damage anything was surprising.
That's insane. So is it 56 Beetle went 783 as an average, and your quickest big block, Chuck Marlett, in an 85 Camaro, 630 with a 7.
Good guy to break into, because I know that was one of the photos I sent you, Mike. So
Is that the that's the
orange and black car.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
car.
Oh yeah, that's
So when you roll up with a car that looks like this in the tech line, and on the side window it says Chuck Small Block, but then you tell me there's a big block, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, there's a story here. So the deal with this car, this is only his second drag and drive that he has ever done. The first one was Drop the Hammer this year. So he's run nothing but small blocks in this car. He averaged 519 on Drop the Hammer and finished 4th in Unlimited. Well, when you consider who else is competing in Unlimited, like Steve Morris, for example, it's like, that's not really that bad. Well, him and his wife roll up and he goes, yeah, this is a borrowed 638 cubic inch big block. It's got 4 miles on it. The only reason I'm using it is because I grenaded my small block, and Steve Morris said he wouldn't get it fixed in time. So he says, I just want to make it through the week. I said, come on, dude. I said, you can't sit here and tell me with this that you're not going to make an attempt at a decent run. He goes, I'm telling you. He goes, I'm a little bit nervous. I want to make the 1,000 miles. And I said, okay. If you look at his results, he's 100% correct. His best run of the week was a 590 at 82 miles an hour. So he would run it to about 300 feet and then lift. So it was like, yeah, okay, he actually is in parts conservation mode. He wants to make it. So on the last day, he uncorked it, went 509 at 136. So if he could have done that all week, he could have possibly won. But I know they struggled with a few things. I think they had some cracks in the cylinder heads come up, and they had some stuff that they had to Band-Aid together, but he finished. So I'll give him credit. It was a pretty rowdy looking car, but he made it all the way through.
Man, that's awesome.
That is insane.
Yeah. Carl Bright here says something magical about a root blower sticking through the hood.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even if you don't know anything about cars, when you're walking the tech line and everybody has mostly flat hoods or nothing sticking through, and then you look and you see all this magical stuff just right here in front of your face, you're like, I must stop. I must talk to him.
I must see what this is going on. All right, so quickest small block, Chris Reiser, 97 S10, 602, super quick. Quickest diesel, Dustin West, 01 Chevy 2500, 676. Quickest four-cylinder, Tim Ford, in what could possibly be our quickest Nissan 240 of the year, 679. Have not seen another 240, I don't think. 679 with a 5, and then quickest junior street, man, I love seeing this class. Cooper Lawson, 05 GTO with a 1052.
So a couple of side notes. Tim Ford in the 97 Nissan, that was Jason Castner with Morgan Evans. That's his old car. Tim bought it from them, and this was his first drag and drive that he had ever done.
How cool.
Wow.
And dude, that's pretty quick. Like, I need to learn more about what this car, the setup is. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And then the junior street deal, I think I scared Cooper Lawson out of making more runs, because at 2 different racetracks, at one track he made 18 runs.
Wow.
At another track, he made 19 runs. I think at Durana, he made 19. And at Ubley, he made 18. Or not Ubley, Northern Michigan Dragway. He made 18. And as he got out of the car, I'm on the PA, and I go, dude, be aware of the fact, I said, the overall leader is Rovik. He's got 26. I said, if you try to break Rovik's record, we're going to hold you to doing some epic stuff when you go forward. And I think that was like, okay, I'm done. I'm good.
I'm good. 19's enough.
Yeah. So it was really cool, because it's the first time we've ever done junior street, and for Cooper Lawson in a 5.3 swapped GTO, and then the other guy was Harrison Hurst. His dad Isaac has done drag and drives with us, so to watch the two of them just keep coming back around and having laps with each other, and they traveled together, it was a lot of fun to watch the two of them do that, because I've probably said this before in the podcast, I was 16 years old when Junior Dragsters came out, and so I sat on the fence and watched forever. To be able to watch the next generation be able to do this is really cool. I hope that Tom continues to do it next year for his one-offs. We are going to do it for Six Smokies. I think we have some, not only motorcycles, but Junior Street. Those are the things we added this year to both of our one-off events. So I'm glad to see them embrace it and do it.
Well, and Tom knows this firsthand. Like the
Yeah.
Junior Streets at Rocky Mountain is insane, dude. There was like 8 or 10 of them this year, and those kids were competitive and up there racing. I mean, they made as many passes as they possibly could, and they were always side by side. It was really cool.
Yes, I agree.
Roll us into these last few categories, and then we'll talk about the slowest and sickest and tourist stuff.
Yeah, there you go. So you got quickest motorcycle with a V-twin is Kirk McGuire, the O2 Buell Cyclone 827, and your quickest motorcycle with 1000cc plus is Ben Maxey 05 GSXR 1000. 697.
Yeah, the only bike to get in the sixes over the week, and it's pretty cool to watch them when you think about it. Just like Rocky Mountain Drag Week, it's like if you're on a two-wheeler going over 1,000 miles, that just takes a whole different set.
You're a different level of badass.
Yeah.
And carrying everything you have to have for the week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. All right, Tom, lead us through these last few.
So you got the slowest overall average, Robert Schwenker in the 06 Outback 1306. Am I say that right there?
Yep. Yep. You got it.
Schwenker, yeah, there you go. And your sickest of the sick, Jason D'Amico.
Yep. Now that'll work us into the Holly Robb story when we get to that.
Yep.
Shout out to Robic here. He says 27 passes, 6 days of tacos, and 3 sets of tires, not just from passes. But awesome. He made 19 passes. I approve of it. Lap it or scrap it.
That should be on a t-shirt right there.
Yeah, lap it or scrap it should definitely be on a t-shirt.
I'm writing that down right now.
Yeah. The old bracket racing terminology is cool it, fuel it, and bring it back.
Yep. Man, that's awesome.
So, and your last award is your Pure Michigan Tourist Award, Michael Osborne.
Yeah, not to be confused with Ozzy. Yeah, he actually came upstairs because there's no E on it. I talked to him about the whole, is it said Osborne? Is it Osborne? Is it different? So, but that brings us into our last couple stories about the Holly and Alex Robs when we talk about the sickest of the sick winner, and then the what we call Pure Michigan, which is kind of a play on Top Tourist. We've done that before. I know Michael Narx, you've seen that in the past with some of our stuff. Beautiful shot from St. Ignace when we went over the Mackinac Bridge. That was what we woke up to the next morning, looking out over Lake Huron. It's amazing. So
Ryan Forbing here says, where can I get more info on the Junior Street stuff, and will it be part of Sick Michigan Miles for 2026?
So Junior Street we will run as part of Six Smokies in October. Michigan Miles is one of our one-off events, so it means we will not repeat the route and the tracks that we used this year. Now, I will tell you, with absolutely no knowledge whatsoever of what's going on behind the scenes, there were a lot of people that I don't know how they didn't find out about it because we advertised it for a while, but they were like, "Oh my God, I can't make it this year. I want to go next year." It's a one-off. It's just like 666, and it's just like Death Week. The appeal of it is you get to do something unique that will never be repeated. So I wouldn't say that Tom won't do Junior Street stuff in the future for 2026. I wouldn't rule out him doing something with Michigan in the future, but it will not repeat what we just did. And that's going to be something where we'll just have to see what he decides to come up with. I don't know what our one-off is going to be next year. We've announced Sick Week and we've announced Sick Summer, but I don't know what we're doing beyond that. So sickthemagazine.com for the announcement once we figure that out.
Just a couple notes here. Rovic says bike dudes making the trip are wild. I can't imagine it. I've ridden motorcycles before, and that would be no fun. And then shirts and stickers, buddy. I'm gonna message you here in a minute.
Yeah.
Brandon Hayward, that's a nice green Chevelle. And then Carl Bourbon says ace shot looking over the water brings back memories from Barton stop during Street Weekend 2024.
Yeah, some of this stuff is just amazing as far as the views and the drives. It's just insane.
Yeah, agreed completely. All right, let's talk about some fun stuff. Well, let me flip through and see if I haven't shown.
So there's Holly Robs.
Let's talk about this first.
This should have been like the overview of the week. Like when on day 0 you're replacing a CV axle, you should kind of be like, yeah, my week might be a little bit rough.
They have no quip in them though, so they don't know any quip.
Yeah. So Holly and Alex, I know they've probably been mentioned on the show enough to where people recognize this car. It's called Artemis. They have done several drag and drive events. They did 666 with us last year. They've done Rocky Mountain Race Week a couple of times, including this year at Mega Week. The car got its first 9-second time slip out of it. So, and it's Holly's car, not Alex's. Now, the funny part is that when they broke the CV axle on day one, it sounded like it could have been the transmission. And I was like, oh, God, no, not day zero.
Yeah.
And so Alex messages me, hey, broke the CV axle. We're fixed and we're back in the lanes. And I'm like, okay. So I figured Holly's probably dealing with enough stress. Alex will slide underneath it. He's got a, pretty hopped up truck that he races, though I figured he replaced it. No, he corrected me very, very quickly and said, nope, Holly swapped out the CV axle. He goes, I was not allowed to touch it.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're great ambassadors for the sport.
Yeah, it's great to see her do it. Obviously, she works with BTR, so she's fully involved in the car and racing and drag and drive lifestyle. So the interesting stories that come out of what they did, and they actually inspired me to go and visit a lighthouse. We were talking about this a little bit before the show. There are several lighthouses throughout Michigan, and I didn't realize that until they had posted going and visiting one. I think it was on day 2 or day 3. So I went off course and visited one on our drive day 4. But getting back to Alex and Holly, we roll into a checkpoint stop. I believe it was on day 3 or day 4. I've got to look it up here. But basically, we're just sitting there BSing with a whole bunch of different people, and a cop rolls up. And we're like, oh, great. Is this going to be good or is this going to be bad? And cop walks over and he's smiling. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? A couple minutes later, we get into the fact that he was going to do sick board, but he couldn't make it. Like, he couldn't get the time off. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he's going to be nice. Alex and Holly roll up like 5 minutes later. And he goes, I really want to do a trailer burnout in front of this, but I don't know if that cop is going to look the other way. And I said, considering you wanted to do sick week, you might be okay. And so they went over and talked to him. They got the A-okay, and 15 seconds of goodness came out of it.
So let's go ahead and play that right now, because I love this. That is such a cool.
So just so you know, the whoa that came at the end of it, apparently her trailer brakes were dragging a little bit. And at the end, when the smoke cleared, the trailer's doing this. They were like, whoa, let's not turn it over.
That's awesome.
Such a badass.
So,
I mean, like, there's nothing cooler than trailer burnouts. I don't care who you are. There is nothing cooler than that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they camped at every racetrack, and it was cool to see their photos and everything as they went along. And so we talk about the CV axle, and then they get to day number 5 at Bubbly Dragway, and they make a hit, and the car looks like it's in limp mode. And they come back after making a good shot, and the throttle body is toast. And this is not just any regular throttle body, because they've got a supercharger on this thing, and it's been hogged out. It's I believe 104 millimeter throttle body. So you can't just bolt something stock on it. The snout won't accept it. So they contact, I believe it was Michigan Motorsports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Said, hey, we need one. And they managed to get one rolling UPS next day or Saturday. So they decided to stay at the racetrack, which, by the way, was running, I believe, gassers and mini bikes and something else the next day. So while they're sitting there with an incapacitated car, they're at least able to watch some stuff. So that's kind of cool. Then Alex sends me a message at like 10:15 in the morning. He goes, well, apparently UPS set next day or Saturday is different than what we expect. So the message basically from UPS says, there's a problem with your package. We're going to send it out on Monday.
Oh.
And so they can't even get anywhere, because basically they can bolt this throttle body on the car and all it's going to do is idle. So they can't drive it that way. They can move it, but that's, and they didn't truck and trailer it from Iowa either. They drove it. So it's like, now we're looking at like a big deal here. So they put out the distress call, and Jason D'Amico, who Tom mentioned earlier, was our sickest of the sick winner. So he's already on his plan B car, which was an 88 GMC dually. He brought out a C5 Corvette stick shift car car. On day 0, he has clutch slave cylinder problems. Can't find the replacement part. Says, screw it, I'll take my tow rig, and does the entire event in a dually, which was pretty cool. It ran in the 10s on the final 2 days, which I thought was kind of cool. So anyway, so he is already back in the Milan/Woodward Dream Cruise area. He makes an 8-mile round or an 8-hour round trip to Michigan Motorsports, picks up a throttle body, drives all the way back to Bubbly Dragway, drops it off for them so they can fix the car, and then he drives all the way back to do the final event.
How cool.
Incredible.
And that is, in my opinion, the just absolute, textbook definition of sickest of the sick / what the drag and drive community does, where you could meet somebody that you've never met in an event before, and they will go out of their way to make sure that if I have the chance of 2 people finishing versus just myself, I will do it.
Right. That's pretty awesome. All right. So let's get into some of these questions that we have for you. Tom, would you lead it out with your first question there?
First question then for you, Derek. What was your best checkpoint in Michigan miles, other than your lighthouse?
And I appreciate the fact that you said that, because the owners or the people that caretake for it had Corvairs. So it was almost like it was supposed to happen. I would honestly say my best checkpoint was probably the Whippy Dip. And the reason why is because they went on sick week. It's a husband and wife deal. And they contacted us and said, we'll pour a burnout pad for you guys. We want to be a checkpoint on this. And it's like, okay, I've heard of people trying to roll out the red carpet, but I don't know about much better than you're going to pour a concrete burnout pad just for burnouts.
That's
Bring
awesome.
it on.
So, plus it's ice cream. Cool. I mean, how can you say no to ice cream?
Dude, hey, I'll give it to Michigan. They got ice cream places, man.
Yeah.
Like everywhere there's some ice cream. It's every other corner has an ice cream shop. Well, how about like other memorable cars? We talked about a bunch here, but we may have talked about winners. What's a car that was memorable to you? Not necessarily a favorite, but memorable to you. 2
of them really kind of stand out in my mind that got talked about most of the week. So Stephen Donahue's 55 Studebaker Commander, just because a lot of people have a really hard time saying, well, first of all, what is it? Because I don't recognize it. And then when I tell them what year it is, they're like, something from the 50s is that swoopy. And like Keith Turk and I ended up talking about it during the week, because it's a car that a lot of people love to use for, like, say, land speed stuff because of how streamlined it is for the year. So, and Steven's done drag and drives before with this car. It's a real nice, just basic black with polished aluminum wheels on it. He averaged in the 790s. So that's a car that stands out. The other one for me was there was a 1999 Lincoln Town Car driven by a group of 4 guys. Wesley Clough was the guy who was driving it. It was a turboed setup, but I didn't see what was under the hood. He ran 7 flat on the last day in a big 99 Lincoln Town Car.
Wow.
Yes.
Come on.
When they said Hot Rod Lincoln, that is pretty much the epitome of it.
Yeah, I think that's the Badgerbuilt YouTube channel.
That's it.
Dude, that car's so fun. So fun.
Yep. Those are there are a lot of really nice cars. I mean, the thing that I say about doing Sick Summer and the one-offs is you get to see a huge variety of stuff. Sick Week, not that it's bad, but I feel like you see more of what you would expect to see at the racetrack. You see the Camaros, you see the Mustangs, you see the G-bodies, you see the normal stuff. When I say there's maybe 2-3 Camaros, like first-gen Camaros on a drag and drive, and people look at me like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people enjoy that. It gives them a chance to bring out like something different. It gives them a reason, I guess.
Correct. No, I agree 100%.
All right. Your next question for you. What is the best parts call you've had? Like, whether that's just Michigan miles or like in general?
So some guy asked me for a turbo once.
Yeah, I don't know who that idiot was.
Honestly, I've had somebody ask me for a turbo. I've had somebody ask me for a replacement 5-speed transmission. Somebody asked me for a replacement 4-cylinder cylinder head one time. And I remember making the call, and I think off mic, I was like, dude, I'll make the call. I said, I don't think you're going to be lucky enough to get that. I go, but I really hope you do. 2 hours later, he messaged me and he goes, miracles happen. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. But yeah, the turbo is probably the key thing. Now, keep in mind, that's on a one-off event with 80 participants. We're doing 2,000 miles. And this is before Precision Turbo had gotten with us. So it's not like I can go, yeah, just go over to the position booth right over there. They'll take care of it.
And it was, if I remember right, it was like 9 o'clock at night at Bakersfield.
Yeah, and the fact that you like messaged me while we're driving to the next racetrack, and I'm like, this has gotta be like bogus. And I messaged him back and he's like, nope.
No, it's serious. I'm for real.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, Derek, listen, thanks for spending time with us this morning, man. I've enjoyed this a whole bunch. Thank you for filling us in on Michigan Miles, dude.
Oh, I appreciate the opportunity. Again, like we discussed last time I was on with Six Summer, there is so many awesome events going on, and I know you're trying your best to cover every little bit of it, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about it.
Yeah, there's not enough time. We're gonna see you next at Six Smokies.
Correct.
The
Earlier, 12th to the 19th. Yep.
That's in what's that? 6 weeks, something like that.
Thanks for just making my heart rate go up.
I think it is 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. 6, 7 weeks, something like that. I'm really pumped about this one because the area of the country you guys are in, obviously the gasser count is going to be insane. 70 something gassers is what you guys I think posted yesterday. The list of names on that is super cool, but I really think as we drive into these areas with that many cool cars, it's going to make people just jaws drop, and it's going to really help grow all the drag and drive community.
No, I agree. I think the interesting thing that we could sit here and bench race into the ground, and I'll leave you with this to think about, is when Luke was approving gassers to enter ahead of general registration because we were trying to get the largest gathering of them together as possible. You could look at, like, for example, you could look at Garbage That Barfed. You could look at Matt Donovan's car. You could look at Finnegan's car. You could look at Wayne Baker's car. All of those, and go, they're going to drive 1,000 miles in that, so, and obviously all three of those cars have done several drag and drives. Now let's look at all these gassers that have registered and think about the fact that the Southeast Gasser Association is huge in that area.
Yeah.
How many people do you think went, oh, I've driven it down the road to my local whatever, I'm sure I'll be fine. Yeah. And now they're getting into that, you just said, that 6-week round where they're going, crap, am I going to be able to make it? So
this car's awfully loud.
Yeah.
This drives like a log wagon. Did we really think this through? Do we want to punish ourselves this much? I'm glad they're going to punish themselves that much. And plus, I mean, we talk about gassers a bunch, but there's a lot of really cool stuff that's going to be at Six Smokies too. So
yeah, we will have some special awards just for the gassers. And again, we're trying to bring that whole ambiance of gassers, including backup girls. We're going to actually have a separate sick helmet just for the lowest average for gassers. So I feel like that is going to bring the competition and people putting a little extra effort into it. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, bring it on. Well, guys, you guys can find Derek Putnam, Sick the Magazine. He is head content editorial. I don't know what, dude, you do so much. Announcer. You write a news story every day for Sick the Magazine. It's great, man. Your knowledge, you and I nerd out pretty hard when we're together. So it's great, man. I'm excited.
Mike, thanks so much for everything you keep doing for the Drag and Drive community. Tom, it was great talking to you. I look forward to seeing you down the road shortly.
Yep. Six Smokies. I'll be there.
Bring it on, man. All right, buddy.
Thanks,
Derek. We'll see you soon, buddy. All right. And again, thanks so much to Car Change 3D. Love Corey. The reason we did it in his segment is because he's in Michigan. So I got to hang out with him and appreciate his hospitality while we were finishing up Heads Up Hustle. I stayed at his house, dude. Wow. Like that's pretty awesome for somebody to let you come in their house. Yeah. And then went by the shop, hung out there for a good while, and did all the fun stuff with him. So I want to say thanks to him. And then other comments here. Carl Bright again DDR does a fantastic job spreading the news and info for the Drag and Drive community. I love it. I say it all the time. Thank you guys so much for all the support that is out there. Dirty Panda, definitely a good show. Derek is awesome AF. I will agree 100%. And then, dude, look at this. Another UK Watcher Street Weekender. Excited to hear what Tom is going to share. And we're getting to that very momentarily. We're very close. And then I suggest a farm truck series for Michigan next year. Dude, that would be awesome. Cool. Like a farm truck class. That would be really cool. Yeah. All right, let's get to rolling here, guys. The gentleman's agreement is this. We had a lot of new folks on watching this morning. I'm going to keep doing this. Eric, who's typically my co-host, is going to keep doing this. But the only thing we ask in exchange of that is that you hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you're watching this to keep up with all the Drag and Drive news. We can't verify you do that, but hey, I'm going to do this, you do that. That's kind of the gentleman's agreement. And then, of course, our race car friends, y'all. I've said this is 3.5 years now that I can't live without my race car friends. It's
Yeah.
true. Tom and I are race car friends. Like, I don't know if there's a race car best friends, but we're in
Yeah.
that mix. He's tired.
We're in that.
I promise.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, the community that has been built around this with everything we've done. It's wild to think that anywhere in the country I can go and find friends that you would meet for dinner, would meet, if I'm on the side of the road broke down, they're gonna, they would take time out of their lives to come and help, and I would do the same. So if you guys are ever in Northwest Arkansas area, please holler at me, let me know. I'll come buy you dinner. And then of course, if you're in the UK, dude, you gotta hit him up. I don't know where he lives over there, but surely
Right in the middle.
Oh, dude, it's perfect. Then everybody's
Right
close
in the middle. Yeah.
And then, of course, our sponsors. We can't do this without all of those folks. The list on here continues to grow, and it's only because of what you guys do out there. So if you're shopping and you're trying to upgrade your car or get new parts, please hit these folks up first. We'd appreciate that. Summit Racing, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, who's going to be on this Wednesday for episode 120. We're going to be talking about 850 class racing. AFCO Racing Products, who has everything in there. Performabuilt Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, Power Tube TV, WAF Racing, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classifieds. Man, I appreciate all of those folks doing this with us as well.